Late for us here in Colombia. It's early morning, 8 o'clock a.m. So thank you for coming. We have today Andrew Chan from the World Vegetable Center, Gene Bank. He is the Information and Quality Management Specialist, and he will show us how we transfer the data from local databases into GGCE platform. This is one of the ways. And what we want to show here is how you can do it yourself. And again, this is just one of the ways. So thank you, Andrew. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Andrew Chen. My Chinese name is Yanquang Chen. I joined the World Veg at 2019, 5 years ago, as an information specialist of the Gene Bank. And since last year, they expand my job to information and quality management specialist. So today, I will not only talking about the information, but also a little bit about our workflow and how our procedure fit to the information system. Okay, this is today's outline. We will quickly review why WorldBatch select GGCE as our information system, and talk about the system structure of WorldBatch GGCE system. We're going to talk about database system, the operation system, these kind of things. And then the heart of today's presentation is how to move the data from our original database system to GGCE. And the last part will be the workflow. Okay, the reason we changed to GGCE, I have to introduce the gene bank of our the gene bank of World Vegetable Center first. Actually, we have two sites, two gene banks. First one is in HQ, is in my country. We have about 55,000 accessions. Then another site is in Tanzania, Arusha Gene Bank. They mainly collect the African traditional vegetables. They now have almost 9,000 accessions. Before I joined, we have actually two gene banks, and both of us manage our gene bank by ourselves in our own way. But after we change to GGCE, we can manage the two gene banks in one system. So in Taiwan, I can quickly review the data from Tanzania Gene Bank, and the Tanzania staff can also get our information from HQ Gene Banks. And the main reason we changed to GGC is because when I joined WOVAC, we were using Evergreens, AVRDC, that is our name before, our AVRDC, Vegetable Genetic Resource Information System. That is the full name. And when I prepared this presentation, I talked with our staff that when I joined WorldVeg there to ask about before we have GGC, how they use the information system. They all feedback, the same feedback is they all go through me to reach Evergreens to update data, upload data to Evergreens, and if they need the information from Evergreens, they will ask me to download to export for them. So that is the only way, only go through me to the information. And after we change to GGCE, they can go to the system by themselves to get information, to do the update, to make decision, to find any information they need when they have to do something. For example, regeneration, they can get the viability information, they can get the inventory, they can get a legal status, they can get everything they need to make decision to list the accession they want to do the regeneration for this year. So that is quite positive for me. This means our staff already using this system well, and for them it's a huge change. Okay, the next step we were talking about the system structure of WorldVec GGCE. This graph shows the system structure of our GGCE system. In the middle, you can see is our server and system. We rent the Google Cloud Platform as our server system. So we don't have a physical server locally in our campus. And we use a Linux operation system and install everything into the Linux system. And we use Embedded Genesis as our GenBank website to publish information to the user. So Evergrid was a back-to-back information system, just like a GG USDA version. We have the data in the database, and the database can use for internally and externally. But GGC and Embedded Genesis have to use it in another way. Is GGC is only for internal use, and we have to upload the information to Genesis, then use the Embedded Genesis website to get those information from Genesis, then show it on the website to the users. And at the left-hand side, you can see using GGC, the staff only need to use a web browser to link to GGC user interface website. Then they can update and get information to the system. And the different thing is for the information specialists, that is we have to familiar with GRIN-Global Creator tools that was developed by USDA. And this system is quite complicated compared with the GGC user interface. So when I joined WorldVet at 2019, at the same year, I was sent it to Vietnam to join the Go workshop, which is ProCharts have this workshop at Vietnam. And at that time, mostly they are training user to use GRIN-Global USDA version and GRIN-Global Creator tools. And that is super complicated and difficult to learn. And I cannot imagine that how can I train our staff in Taiwan to use this system. But in the end, when we change in the system, at the time we have another option is GGCE that was very lucky. So we did not use the GRIN-Global USDA version before, we directly use GGCE. Okay, this is a closer look to our system. The server is located in Google Cloud Platform, and we use Linux OS, which is Ubuntu, as our operation system. And all the service include the database. It was built by Docker Composer, include traffic, include database, include Docker for the GGC user interface, GGC API, and Apache for embedded Genesis. Okay, to move the data from Evergrid to GGC is just like moving any local database to another database. The data schema will be completely different. I would say, luckily or unfortunately, Evergrid's database was not that standardized well. If you are database guys, you will know what I mean. So many tables in Evergrid are horizontal table. There is a very wide table. If you want to add something, you have to add the column in the database. But in GGCE, there are so many tables that are well standardized. Means, for example, the name of the accession. We have our own accession number. We have donor's number. We have collecting number. We have maybe breeder's identifier. We have in aggregate even have a column called PI number. It is the USDA donor's number. So in Evergreen, this is limited. Maybe only 5 or 6 names was are allowed to put into the database, but in GGCE, you can put any kind of names you want into the system because the name is a vertical data table. You just add a row, add a record, and the name is included. The source is the same situation. So when we transfer data from ArcGIS to GGCE, the first things and will be the most difficult part will be mapping the data. I will use the passport data as an example. Um, at the left-hand side is ArcGIS passport data, the column's name, and the right-hand side is how to map it into GGCE passport data. The first one, ACCNO, this means accession number. It will be actually 3 different columns into GGCE. If you're looking at the curator tool, will be accession prefix, accession number, and accession suffix in the same table. But if you're looking at the database itself, it was called accession number part 1, part 2, and part 3. But that is if you're looking at look into SSMS or any other tools to look at the background database. So in curator tool will be accession prefix, accession numbers, and accession suffix. And there are so many different names that they are all going to the same table called accession name. And there will be a taxon. Taxon in curator tool is a full name of a taxonomy, but in database will be just a code called taxonomy ID or something like that. Taxonomy species ID, maybe. And the cooperator is a unique tables in GGCE. And we have source. At the left-hand side, you can see the DOINST, that means donor institute. We have acquisition size, acquisition date, and collecting institute, collecting date. This is all related to the source, and this is a unique table in GGCE, in GG database. And the only things that also raised in the previous meeting is about the backup location. In GG database, it only accept 2 backup location sites, but many times we have backup in more than 2 or even 3, 4 backup locations. So this is only things I know in GGC is horizontal, but in our database, you can allow more than 2. So to do this kind of mapping, we need to know about the GG data model, means the schema. But I didn't find any documents directly teach people how to realize the GG database schema or say data model. So there are 3 ways I can share with you to understand about the data model. The first way is go through GGCE. The second way is go through database itself, means you have to go to the backend and the curator tools. Then the last way is go through GGCE documentation website. From GGCE, I also use passport data as example. This is a sessions shows in GGCE. Top side of the sessions here, you can see there are directly shows some information here. This is means this is in the root table. Actually, it's called sessions. And downstairs there are several tables. Looks like tables. Actually, they are really tables. They are subtable relate to the accessions. There are accession names, accession source, cooperator, and there are pedigrees, something downstairs I didn't show in this view. And second way is directly go into the database backend. For example, if you go to a session IMV name, you will see the key here, inventory ID. Then you can relate back to the inventory list table and find here is a session ID in this table to link back to the session. This is the basic table of the passport data. So this is what it shows in the database. Compare with the curator tools, you will know, because this is a session IMV, so we have to go to the category accession / inventory and find a session inventory name. Then you will find this table. Then you can upload something into this table. Then you will upload to GGCE database. And the third way is quite special, is go to the...
Yes.
Hello? Hope you can hear me.
Yes, somebody interrupt. Just continue, Andrew.
Okay,
Please
okay.
mute yourself.
Okay. And if you go to GGC documentation website and go to barcoding and labeling and go to design labels and roll it down to the bottoms, we'll find data models here. I believe this Thursday we'll have a seminar provided by the crop charts and will describe about the barcoding and labeling. They will describe more about how to read these documents. If you already try to look inside into the database backend, then this is very easy to understand. But if not, I suggest try it, okay? So after we know the mapping, then we can fill it up into an Excel sheet. In WOVAC test, WOVAC case, we have the table, the column name is export from GG Curator tools. Then I have prepared a metadata sheet to explain what column should filling up what. Of course, this is for our internal use, so something like this one, I will suggest to put RVI is for WOVAC case. In your GenBank may be different. So I strongly suggest you develop this metadata by yourself to let yourself know what to put in which columns. And after the table is well prepared, it can easily upload through the curator tools. And if the curator tools actually always will show some error, then we can go back to review the data and find out what is going on and fix it and try to upload it again. So the curator tools, I will not spend too much time to explain about it. It was developed by USDA and still work in GGCE. It allows you to upload huge amount of records in one times, and it can also use to update information in the database. So if you want to update some existing data, you can use the search tool to create the query, put into the creator tool to create a dynamic data table, then do the update directly in creator tools is not too much, or export them into an Excel sheet, then do the editing, then upload them back to the creator tools again. So that will not be too complicated. And for us, the GGC users, we will not need to use these kind of wizards there. And for me, I just use a very basic part of the curator tools, not go too deep, because the main work will be done by the GGC user interface. And the second way to update data is by query, SQL query. But actually there's with some risk, so the crop chart do not suggest us to do this by ourselves. So this is the only secret for 2 days, okay? Don't tell Mattia, I didn't do it before, okay? Truly, I never do it. For example, last or few months ago, they start to have a new column in the database called curation type. Then they ask us to upload all the curation type in our passport data. If I try to do it one by one in the user interface, it will be terrible. So quickly to have a list and upload by the query in one time will be much faster. So this is to share some experience of WorkVac with you. First thing is the information specialist, means me for WorkVac, for example, should be very familiar with GG database schema. Just like what I showed, because that is how we upload the information from curator tools. They all follow the schema. And we try to starting from the most important data, for example, the passport data, include the basic information, include the name, include the source, include the donor, these kind of things, include latitude, longitude. This is part of passport data. And we can use MCPD format to look back the completely or not of our passport data. So MCPD is quite a nice tool to help us to trace back which information is not well filling in or not in the right columns or right place to put. And the second important thing is about the inventory data, because many decisions are making by the inventory data and the variability data. And we are lucky because the inventory data schema and the variability data schema in AverGrid is super, super simple. It's only a table. Positive things is very simple, but negative things is it lose some information. This only allows us to have one record for one session. That is totally not enough. So after we change to GGC, everything changed. But to import this information to GGC is quite important to let people can start using it. And we decided not to upload all the trade evaluation and correlation data to GGC for this moment, because it can only upload by curator tools, and GGC are not yet allowed to have a function to upload this data directly to Genesis. So this means I have to upload once to GGC, then upload it once to Genesis. For me, it will be double work. So we decided to upload them only to Genesis for this moment. The distribution record, means the record before we use the system, will not move to the system for now, because these records are actually history, and they are only for some reason will be used. For example, the supervisor comes to ask for some calculation, some project report, these kind of things, ask for the history of last 10 years. Then this is not often happen, and I can doing it by myself quickly. So for this moment, we don't upload this history to GGC for now. Then I would like to talk a little bit about the working flow, because even we transfer all the data into GGC already. This is only the beginning. We have a data in GGC, means we have a kind of backup of our original database in GGC. That means we already can use the system. And how to let the staff, the colleague in the gene bank can start use the system will be much difficult than just transfer the data to the system. To move this data just takes time, and only a few people's time. For my case, only my time. So I use maybe 2 months to move all the data from AverGrid to GGC, but takes me more than 1 year to let all the staff in the gene bank can use the system. So that is about the working flow. So in my experience, after I move all the data into GGC, I give them maybe 4 or 5 times training, but not for all, only a basic training, how to use the filter, how to find some kinds of information. Then actually the system provides many kinds of tools, but not every staff have to learn every tools. So I will explain the data maybe. So to let the staff can understand how the system can provide and think about that and discuss with each other how to fit our working flow to the system will be very, very important to let all the staff join the discussion. Then after they confirm this is useful, then have to put all these working flow into the document, means the quality document, means the SOPs. Then the SOPs also have to include the step-by-step user manual for that activity. I will give you an example later. So in Wobak situation, we have so many crops, but we only have 5 curators that have to host every crops. Actually, we have more than 158 crops in our database. There are so many kind of different names. Some of them are traditional vegetable. I know that some gene bank go through this way is every curator have to hold every work about he or her, his or her uh, host crops. They have to do the acquisition by themselves. They have to work on the seed. They have to do the seed drying. They have to put it into storage. And when the seed is requested, they have to process the distribution. They have to take the seed by themselves from the freezer and or refrigerator. They have to repack them. They have to split them. They have to in the end, they have to ship them by themselves. This model made the one have to learn everything in the system. Every function should be familiar by he or she. But in Wobak, we are working like this way. For example, we have a team called seed packing team. They're working on the seed drying, seed packing, and seed storage. Also, when the seed is needed, they take the seed out. We have a team working on the seed viability testing. They only familiar with the function of doing seed viability test. They don't need to know how to record the seed moist content. They don't need to know how to split the seed from short term to long term and medium term. They don't need to know how to distribute the seed by the system. They're only focusing on the seed viability. The same, the distribution specialists don't know how to do the seed viability. They can only manage the distribution with the system, but they don't need to learn other staff's work in the system because that will be too complicated, and they cannot find the right function if they need, right? So this is how we separate our work in Wobak. So this is 2 flowchart. Just give you an example. Please ignore the Chinese character because this is written by the local staff. The character is more familiar with them. But the key is here. Every flowchart will have at least one part talking about data updating or reaching the data, getting the information from the system. And this is in their SOP. And this is the annex of the SOP. For seed storage, only 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 3 graphs and a few steps to show how to update the quantity, the inventory in the system. And the viability test is more complicated. It takes 3 pages, 10 or 12 more steps to show how to complete a variability test with the system. So the staff only need to familiar with their own SOP, then they can work with the system. They don't need to care about others' part, how to do with that. So in the end, I would like to show you the PDCA cycle of how we work with the system. The PDCA cycle is from the quality management. It means plan, do, check, and act. The first step will be GGCE is updated by the crop chart, and we also update them, pull it into our server and issue it to let the staff have to use the new one. And first step, the information specialist means it's me, have to test all the new function, all the bug fixing is fine, and there are not no new bugs is shows. Then to let the staff know the system have been updated and they can have a try. And if there are some new function, I will give them some new training for the new function. Then discuss with the staff to use the new function into their workflow or how they develop their workflow to fit the new function to make their work more efficient. After checking all the function and new method, new workflow is working well, we will put them into the quality document, means SOP. Then feedback to the crop chart, this is working fine, then waiting for the new updated. If there are some problem, means the red line, shows that the new function or new update is not suitable for our gene bank. We will also feedback to the crop charts, then they will give a suggestion or they will have a new update in coming future. Yeah, so that is the cycle, how we fit our work into the system. If you a quick example is in the past few months, we already feedback some requests or bugs, application bugs to the crop charts, go through the website, HiWork Simulator. Then last Friday, they issue a new version of GGCE. That bugs and function are all fixed. And then now I tried it today and it's working well. And also start today, the staff tried it today. And so far, no combination. So it looks good. So last slide, I will show you some reference. The first one is GGC documentation. The links here, the URL is here. This website shows how to how to install, how to use, how to make the barcode, how to labeling your labels, blah blah blah. These kind of things all are in this documentation website. GG Curator Tool user guide is teach how to use the GG Curator tool. So this website actually under GG USDA's website, but the Curator tools are still useful for GGC users. And the last one is GG support GitLab. Is where I issue the bugs, issue the function, issue the error, and discuss all these kind of things with the crop charts team. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for listening. And 35 minutes is fine.
Thank you, Chen. Thank you, Andrew, very much, really, for the great presentation. So now the floor is open for questions, for comments. Anybody want to start? Everybody understand everything? There is no questions at all. Anikumar? I know that you request some support for transfer your data. Do you want to ask anything to Andrew? Yes, Chamba. Please just unmute yourself.
Yeah, okay, Andrew, thank you so much for these presentations. So very helpful. So throughout your presentation, you didn't mention Pentao. So I don't know whether that tool came across your mind, whether you tried it to migrate your data or you look at it and you thought it's not useful. Pentao.
Can you explain your question again?
So Andrew,
Yes.
Chamba was asking if by case you tried another tool. What is the name, Chamba?
Pentao.
Oh,
Penta. Yeah.
I actually I didn't use it. I just use Excel and everything's done.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
But it really takes time because the data format is totally different.
David, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hi, Andrew.
Yes, Anna.
This is a very nice presentation. It covered a number of things that we were doing. But also, I wondered, you upload once every 2 months now with the curator tool, right? The data in general. Did I get that right?
No,
or
no,
is
no.
it permanent? Because
No.
where do you?
After we transfer to GGCE, the curator tools only use when a huge amount of record need to upload by one times. For example, if we have 100 inventory need to be uploaded, I use curator tools. So the times is not fixed, not limited.
Yeah, but normally the users do it one by one. Like they create 5 inventories, they register it directly in GGCE.
In our procedure, in Workbench procedure, we set 20 record as a criteria. If it's less than 20 records, I will ask the user to upload by themselves. But if it is more than 20 records, they will come to me and I will give them the template. They will fill up the template and I'll help them to upload them.
Okay, yeah.
That's the way we do it.
Good. Thank you.
So David, before Anil Kumar, just 1 minute. So David, I don't know if everybody understand your question, because you want to, as I understood, you were referring the transfer of all your data to GGC. So as I understand from Andrew, that is just done one time. So all the data that you already have in the old system, just one time is transferred.
Yes.
Okay. No, I was thinking about the day-to-day operations because I would like to know if there's something between what happens in the lab and then what ends up in GGCE. You mentioned a template, so I guess they first make a different file and they bundle that then and register it in GGCE, or do they have a computer open at their site and do they just type it without any other worksheet, document, Excel, Word, template, or stuff? Do you get what I mean?
Our template is also in Excel sheet. So we export the columns name from curator tools and put it into Excel sheet. And it also has a sheet called metadata to explain what to import.
Right. And then you have a backup of what's happened for the operation. Sure. Thanks. Yeah.
Anil Kumar?
Hi, Andrew. Thank you for a good presentation. Thank you so much for that. We are also in Research Genbank. We are also doing same process for extraction, uploading the data in GGCE as well as the GRIN-Global also. Processor is the same thing. Anna, my question in the last meeting is, upload the bulk data, but we found some way for that. We are testing it. Once it is success, I will let you know the result as well as the how much time it's taking. These things I will explain you. We will meet as soon as possible. I will meet you once again. And in this presentation also, whatever the steps we are following, same steps. There is no different, the schema, database schema level matching, extracting the data from the older database to present the GGCE template. These are the things we are doing same. And Anna, in the last meeting, I shown you one query. That query will retrieve all the data from my local database, and it will convert into GG standard template data. They're the same thing. So maybe
Thank you, Anil.
this will be also useful me. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Norma.
Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. My question is, basically what you did was to analyze the structure of the GRIN-Global Community Edition and map every single column or attribute to the database that you have at home, in place, already working. Did you implement new functions in the GRIN-Global Community Edition? Or any new function or any function that was missing from the current database that you are having was requested to CropTrust or the IT team in the WorkBG Gimban does the implementation of those complementary functions?
Mean the data completeness from the original original database to GGC. Actually, PropTrust will not ask us to doing that, but we have to prove ourselves. And Wolbeck GenBank do not have an IT team. I'm only the one. I'm only the one, so I'm the full team. So I'm the only one can request myself to do better. And after we upload our passport data to Genesis, and PropTrust can export kind of the report to us to remind us some data might have problems, some data may need some updated or editing. This kind of report can help us to make our data quality better, but they will not ask us have to do this only if I have time.
Probably I didn't explain myself right. I understand who created the GGCE was the CropTrust, was the
Yes.
one who developed the tool, isn't it? Well, okay.
Yes.
So it has some functions, isn't it? Probably the Gimban, the database in the Gimban in the WorkBG, it has some functions that this GGC didn't have. Did you implement those ones?
Oh, just like what I said, that the Evergreens was a non-dynamic website. You know what I mean? Only me can reach the database, and for the user externally, there is a website. But for the user internally, this is no extra function for them to use the data or update anything to the database system. So there's no function that was exist in Evergreens that we like it and want to keep it, and GC did not have. Yeah.
So Norma, maybe I can adjust a little bit. What Andrew is saying is that he don't need any other functions that is not now in the GGCE. But if there is, like for example, if any other gene bank needs, we go to the crop trust, because they are the ones that are adding that functions or improving that functions. I hope this is clear now.
Okay, perfect. I am saying this because clonal crops are totally different or partially different to all of the workflows are different than the one in seeds, isn't it? So probably for the clonal crops it's necessary to have certain functions that are not there in the main structure, no?
So that is something that must be discussed with the crop trust, but also have to be discussed among all the gene banks that are dealing with the clonal crops, because the need, it will be the same. So this is just about communication and collaboration.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to know. If each gene bank kind of personalize the database, or is in general the same thing, but if something needs to be added, then has to be kind of a consensus, or it was part of only of the each gene bank. Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And when the staff using the system, they will also have ideas and suggestions. Then this can also feed back to the crop trust.
Any other comment, suggestion, adding to what was said? Yes, David, please.
Yes, about the testing cycle. I wanted to know, you do this after every GGCE update, that is like 8 times a year then? Or because
yes, almost.
Yes, about more or less, or 10, give or take a few times. Does it take up a lot of your time?
No, because each update will only update a few things, not everything in the system.
Sure.
So for example, this time they fix few bugs and add 1 or 2 or 3 more function, and I only focusing on this.
Yeah, and you devise your own tests to like say, okay, we're gonna record a field verification site and see how it works out, like that.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, also, if you don't mind, I was a bit surprised that you didn't mention the GGCE API, which was recommend for documentation purposes or to find the relevant database table, because that was what Mattia recommended to me, to just go to the GGCE interface, open developer tools, and then look, capture the traffic and see which JSON was passed back and forth, because that's the only way I do it. I wonder if you tried it, or do you consider?
I directly go to the database back end and use the ID user to find the schema. Yeah.
All right. Good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So Andrew, Matija, do you want to unmute yourself and ask directly to Andrew the question, or do you want that I ask?
No, hi. It's just for clarification, because I don't think it was answered and I want it answered. Hi, Andrew. Long time.
Hi, Matija.
Thanks for testing the new release. I just wanted to check with you, following up on what David was asking. So the question was whether your technicians key the data into GGCE web, or they've used the Excel and give it to you and you use the CT.
Depends on the amount of record.
Right. So, but what would you say they use mostly the GGCE web to enter the data, or it mostly comes to you?
Mostly go through the GGCE website.
All right, that's what
UI. Yeah.
That's what I wanted. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other question? Any other comment? If there is no more questions, no more comments, let's thank you very, very much to Andrew, because he was the first one really to give a very nice presentation about how we use in his gene bank the GGCE. So we hope that the next seminars, we will also have more colleagues to show how they are using or introducing the GGCE in their gene banks. Most welcome to suggest presentations. So please don't forget that next, if I don't mistake, Matija, the next Thursday on the 20th, Matija and Juan from the Crop Trust, they will give also a presentation about the barcoding. So please don't miss it if you can. Despite all these seminars will be recorded, and I already requested to Alejandra to make a SharePoint, and hopefully we will make a very nice website where all the presentations will be shared and everybody can see it with clarity. So if any question or any doubt, can contact directly the colleagues. So please don't miss it, because like I said, despite this will be recorded, it's very different when we are face to face, because we have the questions immediately to ask and we can get immediately the answers. And this will be very, very useful for everybody. So thank you very much. I really appreciate, and thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank
Very
you,
thankful.
Joanna. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.